Welcome to Big Daddy's Story Time. We're reading Thomas and Friends, Percy's Promise. Can you see Percy there? He's smiling at his friend Thomas, and Thomas is smiling back. I wonder what they're thinking. Would you like to read a story about Percy's Promise and we'll find out what Percy and Thomas are thinking? You would? Okay, let's get started. A mob of excited children poured out of Annie and Clarabelle one morning and raced down to the bench. "They're from the Vicar's Sunday School," explained Thomas. "I'm busy this evening, but the station master says I can ask you to take them home." "Of course I will," promised Percy. The children had a lovely day, but at tea time it got very hot. Dark clouds loomed overhead, then came lightning, thunder, and rain. The children only just managed to reach the shelter before the deluge began. Annie and Clarabelle stood at the platform. The children scrambled in. "Can we go home, please, station master?" asked the vicar. The station master called Percy. "Take the children home quickly, please," he ordered. The rain streamed down on Percy's boiler. Ugh! He shivered and thought of his nice dry shed. Then he remembered. "A promise is a promise," he told himself. "So here goes." His driver was anxious. The river was rising fast. It foamed and swirled fiercely, threatening to flood the countryside any minute. The rain beat on Percy's face. "I wish I could see, I wish I could see," he complained. They left a cutting and found themselves in water. "Ooh, my wheels," he shivered. Percy shivered. "It's cold." But he struggled on. "Whoosh, whoosh," he hissed. "It's sloshing my fire." They stopped and backed the coaches to the cutting and waited while the guard found a telephone. He returned looking gloomy. "We can't go back if we wanted to," he said. "The bridge near the junction is down." The fireman went to the guard's coach carrying a hatchet. "Hello," said the guard. "You look fierce. I want some dry wood for Percy's fire, please." They broke up some boxes, but that didn't satisfy the fireman. "I need some of your floorboards too," he told the guard. "What? My nice floor?" grumbled the guard. "I only swept it this morning." But he still helped. Soon they had plenty of wood stored in Percy's bunker. His fire was burning well now. He felt warm and comfortable again. Bzz, bzz, bzz. "Oh dear," thought Percy sadly. "Harold's helicopter came to laugh at me." Bump! Something thudded onto Percy's boiler. "Ow!" he exclaimed in a muffled voice. "That's not really nice. He shouldn't throw things." His driver unwound a parachute from Percy's indignant front. "Harold isn't throwing things at you," he laughed. "He isn't throwing things. He's dropping hot drinks for us." They all had a drink of cocoa and felt better. Percy had steamed up now. "Beep, beep. Thank you, Harold." He whistled. "Come on, let's go." The water lapped his wheels. "Ugh!" he shivered. It crept up and up. It reached his ashpan. Then it sloshed at his fire. Don't worry, my friends. There's always a happy ending with Thomas and Friends. "Oosh! Oosh!" Percy was losing steam, but he plunged bravely on. "I promised," he panted. "I promised." The driver and fireman piled his fire high with wood and managed to keep him steaming. "I must do it," he gasped. I must." He made a last great effort and stood exhausted, but triumphant, on rails that were clear of the flood. He rested to get his steam back, then brought the train home. "Three cheers for Percy! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!" called the vicar, and the children nearly raised the roof. Sir Topham had arrived in Harold. First he thanked the men. "Harold told me you were a wizard, Percy. He says he can beat you. He can beat you at some things, Percy snorted, but not at being a submarine, he chuckled. I didn't know what you're both being playing at it is, and I wouldn't ask, but I do know that you're a really useful engine. Oh, sir, whispered Percy happily. Can you see Percy there? He's smiling. All of the children got there perfectly safe. There's the Vicar. There's even Harold in the background. Everything's on a perfect day because Percy kept his promise. Now, what have we learned today, my friends? We learned from Percy and Thomas that best friends, yes, they keep their promises. Have a special day, my friends. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more Big Daddy Storytime. God bless.